Hey folks, it's Maxie here and welcome to a new TW 2020 video. This is a wee bit of a different series. In this we're basically going to be having a few kind of watcher games, really getting a gist of how certain mods progress into, a couple of years down the line. Coming up, probably in the next week or so, will be the one that's requested by Eric, which will be one of the mods in the 80s, see how that kind of time frame pans out. This was just one, as I say, I happened to already have at the time. I think it was like 1 or 2 years in. And then went on a full-on simulation one night. I wasn't feeling too good and managed to make it to Wrestlemania 40, so I thought that's a good point. But basically the plan is I do a lot of F1 races on the Xbox, which leaves my PC completely free to go and simulate, so I'm more than happy just to allow the watcher to progress while I'm taking part in those races. And yeah, it gives us an idea of kind of looking to see what kind of mod you feel is more organic and develops into a good future, and see how realistic, and just to see how the game takes certain situations. So if you've got any ideas for stuff you'd like to see in the future, as I say, I've got weeks ahead of these races on Friday evenings, so I'm more than happy. It's literally 2 hours I'll be dedicated to these races, so I'm more than happy to let the game sit. So please, your suggestions, just let me know which mods, which errors, and I'm more than happy to research into it. So this one we'll probably use for a bit. This is the 1.3 edition of the Killing the Business one, mod by Gary. I was quite intrigued to see how this went, because obviously this is the mod before, is the one I used my AEW save on. So I was just intrigued to see how this panned out in the future world, and some of the results are quite interesting. We'll more so document the bigger companies here, but if there is anything you want to see in terms of lesser down the ladder, let me know. And we can certainly look on that, because there'll be instances where I'll certainly forget stuff as the video progresses. So, shall we crack on? Let's do it. So straight off the bat, you can see Sima is going to sign a written contract exclusively with New Japan, so he's going to stay there. But with this being the night of WrestleMania 40, they had a brand new Universal Champion, I believe. It's great when that doesn't go down. So they drew 37,000 fans in New England for WrestleMania. And the star of the show was Adam Cole, which is good to know the development talents are going up and they are beginning to be the main people on the show. Even more interesting is that Dexter Lumis, the former Sam Shaw, defeated Roman Reigns to win the Universal title for the first time at WrestleMania 40. Could you imagine? Other things went down, well, obviously click into Mania. The Singh brothers defeated the Viking Raiders to win their third Raw Tag Team Championship. And we also have SoCal Val extending her development deal with NXT UK. Sanada is, All Japan. Interesting. So, before we jump into the Mania 40 results, I'll just going to go through the company war. So, in terms of entire fan base across the whole world, WWE leads to New Japan, to Impact, to CMLL, to AEW, to NXT. Interestingly, NXT UK above AAA, ROH and MLW. But if we change that to America, AEW is actually bigger than WWE in America, which is mad. Then it's New Japan, ROH, MLW, CMLL and Impact and NXT, with NWA way down in 13th. So that's interesting. But also mad to know as well, but obviously it's not the most in-depth mod, it's a very good light mod, but as I say, there's only 18 companies roughly at the start. I can't remember off the top of my head, but as I say, if you're worried that a lot of companies going out of business, it's a light mod. There is, I think, about 4,000 workers in it, compared to, as I say, other places with the Who, you'll maybe get, as I say, 13,000, 14,000. It really, everybody's playstyle is different. You might want to play a quicker save, and you might not really care about the depth of the roster. Some people might want to go right down to, as I say, as local as they can get. So it's all up to you guys, who you feel is the mod that suits your needs. But as I say, if there's interest for a watcher of the Who's down the line, let me know. At the time of recording, the Who's June edition is not out yet, because I'm recording this on May 28th, so don't be afraid that I've completely blanked that. So WWE leads the way, also being Titanic. Wrong button by myself. I've done that so many times on watchers. So basically, Mania 40, let's see how it went down. It got an 89, which is a very decent rating. As I say, I think if you're a human player, you're probably looking to target about the 90s at this point, but it does show that these big ratings with the big companies can happen. So they had the Usos defeat Red Alert. Red Alert at this point is a team of Axel Teacher and Mike Rollins, Alexander Wolf and Riddick Moss. And that one, with Dakota Kai defeat Lacey Evans, Seth Rollins defeat Brendan Vink, King Corbin defeated Rob Gronkowski. Let's hope to God that Gronk isn't with WWE at this point. Robert Roode defeated Cedric Alexander, and Johnny Gargano defeated Akam. Quite a few angles, which I think you'll need in a WWE promotion, because I think it's a 60-40 split in most mods. But we'll just touch on the results. As Bianca Belair defeated Vanessa Borne, Becky Lynch over Mandy Rose, Damian Priest defeated Daniel Bryan to retain the 24/7 title. The Singh brothers we know about, beating the Viking Raiders. Tyler Bate and Dominance defeated Jackson Ryker and Bright Lights, so that would be Braun Strowman, Tyler Bate and Volta against El Ligero, Gunner and Mascara Dorado, so Gran Metalik, yep, and of course Jackson Ryker there, and El Ligero, still under that name. We had Gentleman Jack Gallagher defeat Ricochet, Kyle O'Reilly and MVP to retain the US title. We had Rated RKO defeat the Street Profits. An I Quit match for the Women's Championship, the Raw side, as Nikki Cross defeated Asuka. Then for the IC title, we had Aleister Black defend it and retain it against Bray Wyatt. Adam Cole defeated Phoenix in a ladder match, that was an 88 as well. And then obviously that one for Dexter Lumis was an 83 against Roman Reigns. And Pentagon Jr. defeated Kevin Owens, also in a ladder match, so quite a few gimmick matches for the main championships, but he defeated to retain the title against Kevin Owens in a 93. So you can see there a few people moved up from NXT and one or two have jumped over from AEW. So if we jump into the WWE and check their landscape, Taker's still kicking about, although he is retired, but he is still extremely over, and he's in the Hall of the Immortals and he's in the Hall of Fame. When did he retire from wrestling? 2021. And he left WWE very early on. Interesting, I never kept him on just to kind of cameo appearances. But yeah, people have took. So both the Lucha Bros have moved over. Pac is back as Neville, I can see that. Andrade, Cameron Grimes is up. Let's have a look, is there anyone else there that's made the jump? Karrion Kross is up. Matt Riddle is up. Yeah, not too many actually stolen from AEW. Interesting that Seth Rollins is way down there. Look at his popularity. 56. He is, cheating break up. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch split because Becky was with Montez Ford. She wants to smoke. No, but the interesting thing then is Montez Ford. What happened to Bianca Belair then? This is properly going in depth into a relationship on TW. We see Montez Ford. He was quite high up, 73 over. Let's have a look. Personal info. Divorced. Now he's dating Becky Lynch. He's at hatred of the 3 members of the Shield. So if we look at the news, so divorce happened in 2021, and then that happened in 2022. You gotta love TW. Absolutely gotta love TW, the fact that happens. Last thing I wanted to quickly check there, because there's a lot we need to cover. So look at the champions just now, Penta. You can see people have had that since the game's inceptions. Brock had it a few times, Seth, Adam Cole and Kevin Owens. 24/7 has went through many people there. You can see there, Tazilla's had 2 reigns, Bo Dallas had 3, Matt Riddle with 2 as well. Finn Balor finishes up with 5 IC title reigns, and Rey Mysterio finished with 3. Karrion Kross had 1. Money in the Bank, the likes of Daniel Bryan, Neville and AJ Styles have won it. Mostly between the Usos. There's been a few teams in there actually. You can see there MVP and Shelton Benjamin were on, King Corbin and Andrade as tag champs. And in your women's division, Nikki Cross is a 6-time women's champion, Asuka's a 4-time Raw women's champion, Dana Brooke got a shot, Alexa Bliss another one, Lana with 1. So that's been right about. The Royal Rumble has been Cena, Owens, Cole, and Kevin Owens again. SmackDown tag, you can see there are a few runs for Braun Strowman and Volta. AJ Styles has had it with Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt. Murphy and Keith Lee is a very interesting one as well. SmackDown, Charlotte's a 7-time champ. Becky's had it 5 times. Zelina Vega, Rosemary had it twice. Mandy Rose, Bianca, all as runs as champion. And in the US title picture, Jack Gallagher, current champion. Ricochet's had it a few times. 5 runs for Robert Roode. 2 for the Velveteen Dream. Kyle O'Reilly and Matt Riddle are a few other names there. Universal, where are we? Strowman lost it to AJ, then Roman, then vacated, then Neville, and then Roman to Dexter Lumis. Women's Money in the Bank, the winners of that's been Natalya, Charlotte and Becky. The Rumble has went to Alexa, Charlotte, Asuka and Zelina. Your women's tag title currently is with Liv Morgan and Ruby Riott. Is their second run, but Becky and Bayley's had it. Becky's had it with Mia Yim as well. Quite a few interesting tag teams there, Tamina and Sonya Deville, so yeah, quite interesting how that's went down on the WWE side of things. You can see there Phoenix, a major star, 80 over, I'm assuming in Mexico he'll be in the 90s. No, he's still 80s there as well. Interesting. The Japan, Okada leads the way, Tanahashi, Takahashi, Sanada, Evil, Mark Coffey's up there. You get the likes of Will Ospreay as well. Let's have a look and see who's had there. In fact, let's go have a look. There's an there that's different. I don't know New Japan too much, which is not great. Just going to look at the main ones here. So the heavyweight, we can see there just a few runs there. Naito, Okada had it for pretty much 18 months. Same, close enough for Tanahashi. And now we're on a run with Sanada. The junior heavyweight is with Tatsuya Hanami. A few guys have had it in that kind of time frame. I'll just get a wee look at that. And the Intercontinental, Okada's got it just now. Sanada's had it. Bad Luck Fale and Tanahashi as well. And the junior heavyweight, we've checked already. Sorry, junior tag teams. Yeah, it seems to mostly been dominated by Kenta and Yujihiro Takahashi. So that's quite interesting. So yeah, New Japan seem to be doing okay. Seem to be in a good position. Plenty of money as well, so they'll be absolutely sorted. Impact. Joey Janela is the main man. In fact, the crazy thing, I look at this and see that their main people, women. Fair play. They've really pushed the women's division here, the Knockouts division. Your main over people, Toni Storm, Naomi, the former Carmella as well there, Leah Vandale, Mandrews, Billie Kay. It's quite shocking, but a lot of ex-WWE talents here. Add in, of course, Nick Nemeth, Elias Sampson, Big Damo's over, David O'Connor. Yeah, so mad that that's continued. Or you can see Eric Redbeard, they had him at one point as well. But yeah, that's how they're looking over in this Joey Janela. That is how's your Impact World Champion, which is crazy. So your Knockouts Championship, obviously these titles offer a lot more champions, but Nina Samuels reigns supreme. She won it from Tenille. Caitlin had it at one point, 2 runs as well there for the likes of Katie Forbes. The World Championships with Joey Janela, but what's quite cool to see is there was a phase where there was a lot of women had it. In fact, only female champions, which is quite mad. I don't know if that was a bug at one point because Tessa had it to start with, but anyway, Su Yung had a year with it. Rosemary had it, then Su Yung again, then Tommy Dreamer, then he probably retired, I imagine, that went vacant. Naomi won it, and then she dropped the championship to Luke Gallows, to then Joey Janela. The tag championships are with Nick Nemeth and Damien O'Connor. They won them from Ace Romero and Crazy Steve. So yeah, good to see Big Damo finally getting a push that his talents deserve, because he is absolutely incredible. Chris Bay's your X Division champion on his second run. Grado had a run with it as well. MJF did him at one point, which is crazy. And your World Heavyweight Champ. What the hell? So they've got an Impact World Champion and a TNA World Heavyweight Championship. They must have brought that back. But Prestige is only 41. But the champion at the moment is Willie Mack. Interesting. It's got me wondering as well where the hell MJF is in. So like Crazy Mary Dobson in there as well. Peter Avalon. He's certainly left there. Never mind, I'm not too big in the Mexican scene, so we'll jump on to AEW. Cody's a major star, Sami Callihan, Jon Moxley, Darby Allin and Matt Jackson. Still sitting with AEW Dark and Dynamite. And I've just signed Big Kaz and the Puma King as well. Main guys that are different here, well, it seems that Jacob Friedman's back, but Ashley Lane, of course, Madison Rain's there, Desmond Xavier, Puma King, Tamatonga, Tommaso Ciampa, Ryback, Eric Redbeard, TJ Perkins. There's a lot of names there. Jonathan Gresham, absolutely class talent anytime I've seen him. El Phantasmo is your TNT champion. You can see there Archer won it in game, and then it went to the likes of Orange Cassidy, Joey Janela, Ciampa with it twice, and even a run in there for Rich Swann. The Women's Championship is with the Bunny after it's been with the likes of Nyla Rose, Brandy, Chris Statlander and Leva Bates all had runs as the Women's Champion. The tag team certainly with Ortiz and Santana, Proud and Powerful. Previously with Jake and Dave Christ, we've had Zachary Wentz and Desmond Xavier. The Briscoes had a spell. But yeah, the third title reign for Proud and Powerful. And your World Champion for the second time, the first ever two-time AEW World Champion is Darby Allin. So going Jericho, Moxley where it started, and Cody, Darby, Kenny, Sami Callihan, and then back to Darby Allin. Have they got anything in the Hall of Fame yet? No, they don't. Fair enough. But they're certainly free, nearly 4 million in the bank. Yeah, quite cool to see how that's went. NXT, as you'd imagine, there's going to be talent through the doors like nothing else here. But they've still retained the likes of Austin Theory, Raul Mendoza, El Hijo del Fantasma, Io Shirai, Xia Li, Kushida, Scarlett Bordeaux, Rhea Ripley still there, Zach Gibson, Big Show's helping out, Pete Dunne's down there, Timothy Thatcher. So I don't know if a lot of those people are still either in development or if they've just went, do you want to just work down there and keep going? They still got Ricochet. It'd be mental if they have still got Ricochet, obviously that must have been a while ago. How's Mendoza's overness? 60 odd overness, so quite a decent mid-card act in the main roster. So the Dusty Rhodes Classic has recently been won. Hasn't been used since 2020, so that's ignore. NXT champion Raul Mendoza won it from Austin Theory. You can see there Killian Dane left, Kushida had it twice, Ciampa. Only 2 vacancies from people that have been called up, so that's not too bad, there are people leaving. Mansoor is your North American champion. Kushida had that twice. Arya Daivari as well. Killian Dane also had it twice, and Dominic Dijakovic. And your tag team division is with the Grizzled Young Veterans. Only one time of a vacating of this. It's true to real life. Barthel and Aiknar. Did they start that actually? I think. They may have started as champs actually. Possibly, I can't remember. But anyway, Tony Nese were on with Brian Kendrick. Kushida pretty much looked to do a Grand Slam. And Siri is your women's champion. I personally don't know a lot about her, if I'm being honest. So apologies for the lack of knowledge there. Who should be coming out with? Oh, Austin Theory, there you go. But she's the first time as champion. Xia Li 4 times. Serena Deeb re-signed and got 1. Io Shirai 3 reigns. Scarlett Bordeaux 1. And Casey Catanzaro with 1 as well. We'll just ignore NXT UK because it's meh. ROH, just quickly look at champions, so I do want to cover a few things. So, your current champions at the moment are the pure champion is Eli Dragunov. Top prospect was last won by Blake Christian. Your world champion is... Your world 6-man tag team champions is Space Monkey, Nate Webb and Dalton Castle. Your world tag team champions is Rockstar Spud with the partnership of Matt Taven. Your television champion is Marty Scurll, who's still there. It was Eric Redbeard at one point. He's been everywhere at this point. And Sue Young is your your Women of Honor champion. MLW, the National Openweight Champion is Setimo Dragon. The World Heavyweight Champion is Taylor Rotundo. Won it from somebody and then Brian Pillman Jr. Middleweight Champion is that guy as well. He's actually really good in this mod then if he's winning that many title belts, Enzo. And Gringo Loco and Moonshine Mantel are the World Tag Team Champions. As we move to the NWA, Fergal Devitt is one of their main guys. Obviously 42 now. That's an interesting one to see him there. Lashley's joined them, Joey Ryan, Billy Kay, Brandy Reynolds, Roderick Strong, Christian. Some interesting names popping up in the NWA. The Crockett Cup was last won by Matt Cross and Trevor Murdoch. The television titles with Jay Bradley. World Tag Team, vacant, previously with Matt Cross and Sal Rinaldo. Women's Championship is with Alicia Edwards. Wrestling Spirit is with Jake Something as a replacement for the NWA National Heavyweight Championship. So that's quite interesting that they've replaced the championship in this and the World Heavyweight. The £10 of gold is with Nick Aldis for a third time. A big cast at one point, but a lot of vacancy there, which is not going to do the prestige of the belt a lot of the goods. Compare the championships, there you go. IWGP Heavyweight Championship, your main belt, followed by the New Japan World Tag League. Then the WWE Championship will be alongside the G1 Climax. AEW World Championship is next, then a few other trophies. Money in the Bank slots in next to the NWA World, which is more prestigious at this time as the Universal, which is joint with the Intercontinental. You can see there the IWGP Intercontinental's in there at 14. The US title in WWE is there. And then at 20 you've got likes of the NXT Championship. A lot of championships at that kind of 76 rating. Anything else we need to cover? I think the last one we will cover. There's two things actually, if I can click the right one. Your annual awards. So obviously we're looking at 21, 22 and 23, I want to say. Always confuses me, this. Would 2019 be there? I'm pretty sure it would just be the two Darby Allins, because Darby Allin usually wins it the first year. So the fact he's done that, Sami Callihan and Adam Cole with another win there. Tag Team of the Year, Darby Allin and Sami Callihan. The Young Bucks winging it there, and 2 wins for the Lucha Bros. Young Wrestler of the Year, MJF, Austin Theory, and 2 for Akira. And the Veteran went to Dustin. AJ's won it, and twice it's went to Brock Lesnar. The Female Wrestlers went to Sasha Banks, Charlotte, Natalya, and Charlotte. Interesting, Natalya winning it in 2022. Independent Wrestler of the Year, once to Jay Lethal, Kashiko Nakajima, and then twice to Joey Janela. Company of the Year, WWE, then AEW, 3 years in the trot. And the Most Improved Company, CMLL, Stardom, and WW. No 100 rated matches, which is quite mad. Got a 97, a 98, a 97, and a 99. And that 99 was Sami Callihan, Jonathan Gresham, and Jimmy Havoc in a cage match and Dynamite. The all-out match between Cody Callihan, Havoc, El Fantasmo, and Kenny Omega in 97. So that's quite an interesting thing to look into. There's no 100 matches in this particular one so far. Best shows, an 88 in the first year, which is New Japan King of Pro Wrestling 2020. And then the 2 all-outs, the season finales in 93 and 91, with Fyter Fest in there with a 92. And as somebody that's doing an AEW save as well, it's something to look into to try and emulate. Paul Heyman with 3 Manager of the Years to 1 for Christopher Daniels. And Mauro Ranallo has 3 out of 4 Announcer of the Years, with Ian Riccaboni with the other. And co-commentator has been shared twice by Don Callis and then twice by Milano Collection AT. Referee of the Year, Red Shoes, Charles Robinson twice, and Suguchi Nishinaga. And that leaves the final thing I wanted to look at was the Power 500. That's some year for Sami Callihan. That is some year for Sami Callihan. So he's your main man at the moment. Jimmy Havoc. Would not have expected that 2 years in a row in second place, but he seems to have someone that this summer's really pushed well. Jonathan Gresham's up there, Darby Allin, Elfan Tizamo, Kevin Steen, Pentagon Jr., Phoenix, Adam Page, Will Ospreay rounds out your top 10. That is mental. Let's try to see who else you've got in there, like Adam Cole, Rich Swann, Punishment Martinez, aka Damian Priest, Cody Rhodes. Look at the difference in the people that are on AEW compared to the WWE schedules. I mean, look at that. Look at all. Rich Swann's not a good example, but all those matches, that's just him August to December. And that was all the matches that Moxley had last year. 12 compared to 12 and 2 losses, 14 matches, and Punishment Martinez would have had 56. Quite crazy. They get like Seth, AJ, La Sombra, Andrade, Baron Corbin, Taylor Bate, Roman Reigns, and Kota Ibushi. Rounds out the top 25. I like how it tells you how they were up and down for the year before. That's a nice wee touch. So I'm going to give Adam a big props for the top 500. That's certainly changed and certainly is a lot more fact finding, a lot more data on that. So just to confirm as well, Sami Callihan this year. There was Adam Cole. You can see like Lesnar up there in P7 as well. 26 matches in a year. Wrestling on Raw. We get the same Brock Lesnar. And then 2021, Darby Allin ahead of Kenny. And 2020, Darby over Pentagon. And obviously 2019 would have had no data as Seth Rollins won. So a big change from, of course, the WWE guys moving over to the All Elite Wrestling people. So as I click that for the third time in this particular recording. So that's it for this particular version. As I say, I'm going to go ahead and do another couple of years doing this when I get my next mini race. And then hopefully the next one will be maybe 2026. We'll cover the last 2 years. But yeah, if it's something you enjoyed, let me know okay, what kind of errors you'd like to see, what kind of mods. Just link me to the threads, or preferably on GDS. But if they're elsewhere, let me know, and we'll get them simmed a wee bit more of a wee look at see how they've developed. And maybe, if you feel they've developed in a realistic way, that might be the save in the mod that you interest yourself. So this was, of course, the Killing the Business. This was 1.3. There's been some updates since for this particular mod from I know it's Gary. I think it's Gaza something. I can't remember. I think it's some sort of football club. It might be BWFC at the top of my head. I should know this and should have noted this before I started. But yeah, definitely check it out. As I say, it's the one I used the version before for the EW save. So definitely take a look and yeah, make your own mind up for there. So thanks for watching. Any thumbs up and subs are deeply appreciated. As I say, give me as much TW content as I say. Well, I'll get a chance to record as much. Because I know once everything is back to reality, it will be back to just working on my AEW save. So cheers for watching, much appreciated, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye bye.